everybody. Welcome back to PSGL. George Morgan here, your commentator, alongside me, TK, who is going to be rounding off the season with me.
Down the inside,
This is for the win between these two.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
He needs to get it done now.
Blakey will dive to the inside.
We're robust. We've got our elbows out.
Ronard takes the lead.
Yes, here comes Alfie Butcher.
Can't really complain with that one.
It's not going to be easy. The pressure is on, of course.
Yarda Watmere is your champion.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back for the penultimate time in season 42 to your Monday evening madness. We're back once again for round number 9 of season 42, and this is the penultimate round, not just of season 42, but in the ground effect era, everybody, because we know the 26 DLC is just around the corner. So we'll be moving away from this era of Formula 1 very shortly, and we have a championship that can be decided and most likely will be decided this evening. And that is all very exciting indeed. Commandeering Commentary Corner. You can see I'm a bit lonely here at the moment. It's just myself. But I'm delighted to say that my partner in crime, Attacker Logan, will be turning up sometime in the near future. We don't know 100%. I'll get an indication as to when that is happening. We, of course, have some pre-race amble to go through. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hopefully, you're looking forward to what should be an exciting race at Abu Dhabi this evening. The Yas Marina circuit. Much better, isn't it, since we had that horrible chicane in the first sector. Horrible chicane at the start of the final sector as well. Taken out from our vision and from the racing circuit. But first and foremost, let's have a look at how this championship picture is shaping up, because it is getting very, very exciting. You can see there, right at the summit, Snacks, 96 points, 21 clear of Silo, but it's been a hat-trick for both of them in the last 3 weeks. 3 wins on the spin for Silo, 4 wins out of the last 5. Absolutely the form horse in PSGL PSF1 at the moment. But Snacks is going about his business. Only twice finished off the podium in the 8 races we've had so far. 3 second place finishes in a row. Getting beaten by Snacks. Getting beaten by Silo, I should say. Silo definitely with the momentum. But I think just leaving themselves with a little bit too much to do, having not been here for rounds 1 and 3, and also getting a DNS in Baku round 2 as well. They are the only contenders that head into the final couple of races with any kind of opportunity. If we have a look at it, 21 points the gap at the moment, 17 points available each race. That means if Snacks beats Silo this evening, Snacks will be your season 42 champion. But he hasn't done that for the last 3 weeks, and only done that once this season as Snacks finished ahead of Silo on the road. So it's looking a little bit dicey, but definitely possible. And Silo has to pick up a massive wad of points going into this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix to give himself a reasonable shout. If Silo wins this race and makes it 4 wins on the spin, we will 100% go to that finale in Saudi Arabia. Whether he gets the pole position point or not, the pole position point will be important in a week's time, I am sure. If we head over to the Constructors, that is also a very closely fought battle as well. Just 1 point separating Williams and Red Bull as things stand. Red Bull have just been eking their way forward with Silo taking those 3 wins on the spin. There hasn't been much coming either way, really. No real points for Jane in the last few rounds. Mats van der Geest has either been here and done really, or fairly well, I should say, with a 4th and a 6th, or DNFs and DNSs for Mats van der Geest. Attendance hasn't necessarily been his strong suit so far, but this championship constructors fight is going down to the wire, and it does, of course, contain both of the main Drivers' Championship protagonists, which just makes things that little bit more exciting. I'm disappointed to know that we don't actually have a lobby at this point, which is maybe slightly concerning. But Saudi Arabia in a week's time, we will think about that when we get there. That's the future. We need to focus on the present right now, and that is the Abu Dhabi circuit, which, as I said, lonely in this screen as well. No Logan below me to have a bit of a chin wag with. But on the Yas Island in Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates, much better track than it used to be. I think that's fair to say. I absolutely hated it in years gone by in the F1 game. Much more palatable now since we got rid of those chicanes. The one in the first sector after turn 3 wasn't particularly nice, but then at the start of the final sector, that was hideous, heinous sequence of corners. We've made it much nicer, though. Bit wider as well. Some of the apexes are just smoothened out, so there is definitely an opportunity for some much better racing, because that was the problem with this circuit in real life. Terrible racing year after year after year. If there was one thing you could guarantee, it was that the season finale in Abu Dhabi would be an absolute stinker. But it is much nicer. But the DRS is also very important. Around this circuit on F125, if you fall out of the DRS range, very, very difficult to get yourself back in without a significant tyre offset. So I think that's going to be something the drivers have to really try and manage this evening to make sure they don't lose touch to the cars in front, keep tabs on the position they find themselves in the race. And that could be the deciding factor, especially if we see some alternate strategies, medium, hard, hard, medium. That is obviously the way we're going to go. It's F125. That's usually the strategy that everybody likes to favour. As we come back to this screen, me feeling very lonely, still waiting for my Scottish companion. Still don't know if we've got a lobby either, which is a little bit worrying as well. I'm going to have a look to see if anything's been sent out. No, it has not. The time is currently 8 PM and we still don't have a lobby ready. So this could be the shortest PSGL stream you've had in quite a while, because we might not even be racing, which would, of course, crown Snacks champion. It's not necessarily the way we like to do it, though, is it? We do need to talk as well, as I completely fail at getting those words out. If you want to get better at the F125 game, who doesn't? It's been around for a while. If you're still struggling to just extract those extra little microseconds of performance, or you just want to take it to the next level, then I can tell you that Sim Racing Setup have got you covered, everybody. Head down to the link in the description of this stream and you can get your hands on the Pro F125 car setups. Created and developed by the drivers you see week in, week out here at PSGL. I'm just seeing a very concerning message in the chat, but we'll gloss over that for the time being. Esports and stable setups for every single circuit. That's 27 on the F125 game. As things stand, we don't necessarily know what's happening in the not too distant future with F126 DLC. Free meta setup updates as well. Optimal race strategies, all available for £49.99 at simracingsetup.com. As I said, linked in the description of this live stream. And you can use a delightful code of PSGL at discount for a stupendous, I'm going to go for all the superlatives, sounding like, oh no, I've forgotten his name. Stupendous. Oh no, Chris Eubank. A stupendous 5% discount on that purchase. But I am getting the consensus that we might not be doing this. I've just seen that Logan's jumped into the Discord with me, and I'm fearing that he might be seeing similar things. I'm going to bring Logan in now. Logan, hello. We are live, of course.
Hello. Sorry, I am actually just finished work, so I just wanted to call in and say, hey, I'm still around. I'm just clocked out of work. I'm just going to be getting the next bit home, and I'll be here in about 10-15 minutes. I just thought you'd say I'm going to be back. I am here.
Well, I should say just very quickly, I do have my concerns, although I think I have potentially had an invite. Yes, I have. I was worried that we weren't actually getting going, but now we are. So crisis averted, everybody.
We don't have an invite?
We have only just had the lobby opened about a minute ago.
Oh my God.
So we're already late. Which is
Alright,
not
I'll be
good
there
news.
soon. Right, I'm getting the next home and I will see you in a minute.
Goodbye, Logan. We will catch you shortly.
For now.
That is Attacker Logan, everybody. Currently on a train, I would imagine. Heading somewhere where, I don't know, but it is home. Thankfully, we do have a race that is going to be happening, despite some people in the drivers' chat saying that they don't particularly want to have a throw around this circuit today. But I think we could also be looking at a full lobby. Is absolutely beautiful because it's a rarity, unfortunately, at this stage, PSGL, PSF1, that we do get a full lobby, maybe for the second time this season, because we did get one in round 1, I believe, for the Spanish Grand Prix. Yes, championship will be, well, will most likely be decided tonight, unless we get the full house from Silo once again, which we can't rule it out because he's been so efficient in the recent weeks and months, despite missing, like we said, the first 3 races. Been on a hot streak. Golden run for Silo. 4 wins out of the last 5. Taking chunks of points out of Snack. But Snack's yet to finish outside the top 5 as well. Looking like the odds-on favourite. And just has to beat Silo in one of the final 2 races. And it will be signed, sealed and delivered. As we wait with this slight delay, which is a little bit frustrating. We are going to get going shortly. And my partner in crime will be back shortly as well. Welcome in if you are new, firstly. Welcome. Penultimate round of the season. You could be seeing a champion decided tonight, which is absolutely wonderful news. If you are new, first of all, make yourself comfortable. We're at Abu Dhabi this evening, and we have an 18-minute qualifying session on the agenda. Firstly, no lobby reset in between. We head straight into a 50% race around the Yas Marina circuit, which is precisely, and I can tell you this on the nose, 29 laps around this circuit. Should be your standard one-stop race, medium, hard, medium, depending on what the drivers will go for, and depending as well on how they qualify. Previously, we did have a lobby reset between qualifying and the race, but we no longer do that now, so they don't get the soft compound tyres back. Not that they would want them anyway, because they are pretty terrible, aren't they, on the F125 game? Pretty terrible more often than not. I'm getting the signal that we're readying up. We're ahead of schedule. They said it was going to be 8 past. It's only 5 minutes past, so we're just 5 minutes later than we were expecting, which is broadly acceptable, let's say. Hope everybody is ready for this one. Remember back last time we were in Abu Dhabi, we did have the championship decided by the driver. The reigning champion, of course, that is on the grid as we speak. Volokongan missed the first 6 rounds, I believe, of the season. Jumped back in for round 7 in Singapore, finished on the podium. Spa last week did a fairly decent job as well, getting a few points on the board. I can hear the beats, which is delightful. We'll just have a quick look at the standings as well, so everybody can jump in and see where we are at. 21 points the margin, with 34 still available for Snacks at the top of the summit. Silo with 3 wins on the spin, though. 4 wins out of the last 5, but if Silo fails to finish ahead of Snacks, then Snacks will be the champion. Dirk has been actually, unlike Dirk normally, very consistent. Hasn't finished a race outside the top 5, but had a couple of DNS. Both of them were inside the first 3 laps. One in the season opener at Spain, and then at round 5 in Zandvoort, which means that he might fail to finish this week, because he's gone a DNF, 3 races a DNF, and then 3 races as well. And you can see down in 12th there, Volokongan missing the first 6 rounds of the season, but coming in with 14 points in his 2 appearances. A solid podium in Singapore, and then a 7th 7 days ago in Spa-Francorchamps. And I'm hoping we're going to flick over to this screen. We're not quite in there yet. Logan, it's still a black screen below. We don't know where he is. He's on a train somewhere, quickly trying to hot-foot it down to, I guess you can call it the studio. Can you call it the studio? His studio. Good evening to Dylan Hoglund, who's jumped in the chat. That's the name for him. Have you raced this season, Dylan? I don't think you've raced this season, Dylan, but you were very strong last season. Good to see you. Hopefully you're all well, and hopefully you're looking forward to this one as we wait to see who will shine brightest under the lights in Abu Dhabi tonight. 20-player lobby. Absolutely delightful. No, we haven't seen Dylan Hoglund this season. You would have had a chance if you wanted to, mate, because the attempts from the full-time drivers a little bit shaky, has to be said. But yeah, hope you're well, and hopefully you're ready for an exciting one. Penultimate race of the season, penultimate race in these cars as well on F125. We are going to go full screen to have a look at this. 118 minutes on the clock, a little bit less now, 17 and 38 to be precise, and who will win the first race, which is decide who gets out of the pits first. Obviously, because it wouldn't be any other way, because otherwise everybody would stay in a garage. Everybody's seeming very passive so far, but they're lighting up the rear tyres. I think that's one of the Silver Arrows, one of the Mercs rolling out of the garage. As we're going to get the track map up as well. We missed the track map. There's one of the V-carbs. It's actually Dirk that's managed to jump ahead of the Mercedes. But what I think is Polymaki there. It could be Melwin Efferman as well coming out of this. Very unique pit lane exit, isn't it? With the tunnel that the drivers have to work their way through. If you push it a little bit too hard, you can get it slightly wrong. As Dirk already smashing into both of the bollards there over the curbs on the run into turn 3. Now taking out the brake marker boards as well. Dirk on the ultimate demolition derby through this outlap here at Yas Marina. Who we're looking at as favourites is, again, this time the DRS board clattered into as the polystyrene particles flying up everywhere. And with this being one of the shorter circuits on the calendar, there is an opportunity maybe to try and get 4 runs in. High-speed circuit, you're going to be playing with fire a little bit. Definitely 3 runs for drivers going to be possible. Pole going to be a 21 flat, Dylan Hoglund thinking. I think if we get into the 20s, somebody's done a very good job. And usually the pole times, well, we normally have a bit of a disconnect, actually. I think it's fair to say. We normally have a couple of drivers that put sort of a quarter of a second between themselves and everybody else. So if they can get in that ballpark, I think they'll be pretty comfortable out front. The likes of Silo, the likes of Snacks as well, 2 very strong qualifiers, as long as they keep it in between the white lines, as Dirk has failed to do on that occasion. Track limits are something that you do have to be careful of, but it's not necessarily going to be the thing that's at the forefront of your mind. If you do just overextend yourself ever so slightly, you can trip over those white lines, play with fire a little bit too much as the Alpine backs off going through the penultimate corner. And we're going to start the first flying lap of the session. with Dirk, the winner of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix round 2 of the season. Only finished on the podium twice since then, but hasn't finished outside of the top 5 if you exclude that DNF from Zandvoort a few weeks ago. As your foot is absolutely planted here through the first sector, the majority of the first sector through 2, 3 and 4. Then you can throw it in. Turn 5 is a really satisfying corner when you can get it right. You can use the curb on the inside. It'll be your friend or it'll be your foe. You'll understeer like a boat. It'll throw you off into the runoff on the right-hand side. And we're using all of the road here on the right as well over the curbs. It is a little bit flatter. There are some undulations and trying to keep it as straight as you possibly can. As he does go over the white line there, Dirk, but gets away with it track limits-wise. And then into one of the remaining chicanes that still isn't particularly nice. It's very fiddly, very technical. You've got to be so precise with your inputs to get the car rotated, to get the front end to bite as well through the chicane of 6 and 7. Throw it into turn 9 as well. Fairly similar to turn 5, but you can carry a lot more speed. A little bit of dirty air disturbance maybe from the McLaren in front that just gets out of the way. And this in the race, this should be the deciding factor. Rear tyres are going to be screaming for a bit of mercy every time you plunder your way into the final sector. Just got to keep it on that finite balance. Dancing on the knife edge of grip with the rear tyres. Just starting to step out a little bit through turns 10, 11, 12 and 13. Final couple of corners. Total commitment required. Flat out for the penultimate. Little bit of braking into the final one. It's a 21.6 as the benchmark for Dirk, as we see the Alpine of Jeffrey Kirk over the line and lowers it by 0.02 of a second. Nice start as Kevin Duneberg jumping in. And there is Melwin Efferman with a 21.4, already chipping away at those times. This is Tico through the final corner. Usually pretty strong in qualifying. Bit of a snap there for the Sauber over the line. A 22-point flat. Definitely not at the pace we would be expecting. Where are the championship protagonists? It's purple in the middle sector for the Red Bull of Silo. Snacks is a little bit further back down the road. So we'll keep on board with the man that has won 4 of the last 5 races. Comes into this with a hat-trick of victories. The chat has suddenly popped off. Otsazito, Silo going to be a 0.9, Otsazito thinking. I think it's not a bad shout. Bit of a tail snap there, but already into the low 21s. 21.1 there for Silo. What can the championship leader? All he has to do is finish ahead of Silo tonight, and he will be champion. Otsazito was the last of the drivers. 21st, the worst place to be. I would have liked to see Otsazito again, my friend, because normally a very strong contender, as that is a quarter of a second, separating the two main championship protagonists. Silo from Snacks, from Melwin Efferman, your top 3. Jeffrey Kirk with that strong lap time as well. The only drivers inside the 121.6 mark. Polymaki to P6. 7th for Volokong, the reigning champion. In validation for the Haas of Max Bricker. The 2 McLarens currently out there pounding around the lap times as well. And this is Leggy in the final sector. Just a couple of corners left to negotiate. Bit of a dirty air maybe from the Haas. Really trying to crank on the steering of the car. Not responding well over the bumps through the penultimate corner. Up into P10 on a 21.7 though. For the Papaya McLaren car. Mats van der Geest is out there as well. Along with Finlay returning for what I believe is the first time this season. Might be the second for Finlay, who was an ever-present last season in 41. Was a teammate of the champion. Let's not forget Volokong, but that is an invalidation. And it is not going to be a competitive time on the board. So the majority returning to pit road. Mats van der Geest still out there. Remember, there is a Constructors fight that these guys are pushing very hard for. But that is an invalidation. Lazy one as well, really, from Mats van der Geest. Slicing over the inside curb through turn 12. I think that's a couple of attempts thrown in the bin. Remember, just 1 point separating Williams and Red Bull in the Constructors Championship with just 2 races to go. That could get very tight indeed. As we complete the first runs with, once again, seems like we say it every week, Silo leading the charge out front. And I think that the prediction that we're going to get below the 121 barrier, I think that could be coming true, especially with Silo. Everybody else needs to find a hell of a lot of time. It's a big margin that Silo's got at the start of this qualifying session. Just over a quarter of a second separating the 2 championship protagonists. Snacked, if he finishes second, he won't win the championship if Silo wins the race. Because if we look at the points, if Silo maxes out, so gets the full 17 points, goes to 92, that means Snacks can only get 12 to take him to 108. That's 16 points. There's still the possibility that Silo, with a perfect weekend in Saudi Arabia and an absolute stinker for Snacks, Silo can still backdoor this championship and take it away from the Williams, who has been, since round 1, pretty much head and shoulders above everybody else. But Silo coming on strong here with this golden run, like we said, in the second half of the season. Kevin Zuneberg out there backing away. Silo isn't driving next week. Leon's just come in and dropped an absolute bombshell there. Maybe he changed his mind if Snacks has a stinker. it's 17 points for Silo. Snacks doesn't score any. And then it's just 4 points in it. But if that is the case, then that's very anticlimactic for our championship battle, because that means Snacks has already decided it. But we're going to treat it as if maybe something can happen. We don't know. We'll confirm it at the end of the race. That's what he said to me before the race, but he might change it. That is good news. Thank you for keeping us updated on that, Leon. I do appreciate that very much. Kevin Zuderberg still out there. 3 seconds off the pace. 24.1. Messed up his first flying lap of the session. He's negotiating this final sector at the moment. Was a couple of tenths down through sector 1. This definitely is not full pedal to the metal stuff. I think he might be returning to the pits to complete this one and lay those tyres to rest. Now, we are going to carry round again, but it's not really going to be any real improvement as Kevin Zuderberg is running around there at race pace quite clearly. Seems like it's a practice session. 125.8, maybe just trying to get his eye in there. The Haas driver, Leggy out there in the McLaren, still on an in-lap, 18 seconds down, so we don't need to pay too much attention to that one. 2 Mercedes are out there. Melwin Effman, strong start for the driver, currently third at the moment, less than 3 tenths away from the benchmark. And there is the innovative, I think is the best way to put it, way of warming up your tyres. And I'm delighted to say that Ataku Logan has returned, everybody. Are you fully back, Logan? Are we ready to rock?
I'm just trying to jump into the server.
Excellente. Well, I can give you an update on what's happening, and for everybody else, we can throw it over as well. Silo currently fastest, halfway through the session, quarter of a second, separating Silo and Snacks. Once again, top 2 in the championship, top 2 on the timing charts. Melwin Effman again using that tactic where you just let go of the wheel to heat up the tyres, because that's the way that F125 works, apparently. Jeffrey Kirk just in front, strong lap time as well, 4th fastest, less than 4 tenths per second away from the benchmark time. This Melwin Effman, foot to the floor. Can we find an improvement on what you would expect will maybe be a new set of tyres, using all of the road on the run into turn number 1 and using all of the road on the exit as well, trying to carry as much speed as you possibly can, thread the needle through turns 3 and 4, and we'll see what the delta is. Sector 1 is not really where you make up loads of time, but up by a tenth per second already, and that Mercedes really riding the curbs nicely on the run into turn number 5. We'll see how this lap continues to progress as the rear wing flap is wide open. And again, all these drivers staying all the way over to the right-hand side off the road. Logan, are you in the session?
Can you invite me again? I can't seem to get in.
I will do that in due course, my friend. We'll go through the second flying laps because people are pounding round at the moment, and then we will get you into the lobby. Melwin Effman, do we lose or gain time in the middle sector? Yes, we gain time. Nearly 2 tenths per second up now. Strong second flying lap from the leading Silver Arrow. Maybe a little bit wide there through turn 9, carrying as much speed as he possibly can. As into the final sector we fly now through turns 12, 13 and 14. Very easy for the back of the car to step out. Logan's in. Doesn't matter anybody anyway, everybody. Through 14, that's the place where you can just cut out the barrier. Got to be careful of the front wing. Flat out through 15. Throw it into turn 16 as Jeffrey Kirk, second fastest, just 2 tenths down. But I think Melwin Effman going to displace him. Displaces Silo as well by 0.03 of a second. Car behind, I think that was Silo. No, it was a Red Bull through the final corner with a big tail snap. Silo's down by 21 milliseconds. Snacks has just started a flying lap, but that has turned up the wick there. Melwin Effman, strong final sector, strong 3 sets it has to be said, and takes it away. 21.184 now the benchmark. And can Silo find any more time? Great run from Jeffrey Kirk. Good lap time from the second Williams as well. Escocalevi up to P5. Important for Williams Constructors Championship push. Polymaki with a mistake, returning to the pits. Has Salo got any time left in these tyres? Only 3 milliseconds down. The smallest of improvements will take him back to the top. And it does. Finds a 10th. Good final sector to go fastest on a 21 flat. As the reigning champion Volokongan now up into 6th. Red Bull, Mercedes, Alpine, Williams, Racing Bull. And we turn our attention back to Snacks as Matt goes 5th fastest, 9th fastest, I should say, sorry, in the Alpine.
Okay.
What can Snacks manage in this final sector? Logan.
Yes. What can he manage? Let's find out. As he comes around the final 2 corners, needing to improve by around 3.5 seconds and change. Only manages 3rd, 3 thousandths behind Melvin, and just around a 10th and a bit of change behind Silo, his fellow SCI driver. 2 tenths clear of Jeffrey Kirk. 6, 7. Oh no, here we go again. You can tell I've just joined the lobby as Escocalevi looks like he's going out to the other pit lane, the support paddock pit lane, which is not true. That's usually the other side of the track, just in case you want to have 2 races on at the same time. just have 2 tracks split up. I like that a lot when you use that for like shorter things. That's pretty cool. But looks like Silo at the top with 1:21.081. He needs this today. Otherwise, championship done and dusted.
Yeah, and there are rumours that Silo's not driving next week. So we'll just keep that on the back burner. Hearing that the pole time in F2 from Leon was actually a 0.8. I'm imagining that's a 20.8. Oh, that's PC F2. Okay. So we're not that far down, to be fair. Oh, big tail snap for Leggy there out of the final corner. Definitely going to lose time. Still goes 7th fastest. But yeah, that'll put his eyes on Storks there as he lit up the rear tyres, desperate to plant the loud pedal through the final corner. Silo from Melwin from Snacks, Jeffrey Kirk and Ray Wince, your top 5. Great late lap there in the second runs from the Aston Martin to jump up ahead of a Scott Levy. 2 Racing Bulls, 8th and 9th. Volakongan and Dirt with Polly Mackey now bumped down to 10th after failing to get that second lap time in. Just under 5 minutes to go. Kevin Zunberg still out there, I imagine on race fuel, just dobbing around there in the mid-25. So Kevin Zunberg just trying to get some race prep in for the event coming in just over, I would say, 5 minutes time.
I was about to say, why is Kevin Zunberg on 7-lap old tyres?
He's just pounding round, mate. He's doing what he likes. This is just Kevin Zunberg's world and we're living in it.
I mean, last to first, I guess. I mean, he's out of the reach of the championship, obviously. Only the top 2 can win the championship now. Only 34 points remaining. 36 behind is the 3rd place driver.
Oh, well, now he's doing the reverse entry drift into turn 1. Brilliant.
Careful, this isn't the F1 movie. If you know, you know. I'm not spoiling
there's
any disqualified.
There's your last to first.
Well, Finley is Finley's disqualified. Not Finley, Kevin Zunberg. Just check there is no penalties. Not now. Please don't get a 5-second penalty. But yeah, that would be. It's not going to make any difference. He's not even got a representative lap time. Finley is coming out. I see though. I can see him getting the car. Oh, no, sorry, that's not right. It's actually Leggy coming in. Why I'm an idiot. But Finley has 3 minutes to set a lap unless he doesn't want to set a lap. It's totally up to him. He's not in the championship race. In fact, he's only got 3 points. He's a reserve. He joined in Singapore and missed Belgium. But we've got a full grid tonight, which is great.
We do. First time in quite a while, actually, that we've got the full grid. Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi's better. I said it in the intro, much better than it was previously once we changed the track layout. But 3 minutes left to go. We won't talk about that.
First race of the new track, it ended crazily. That's all I'll say.
I said a 21.8. I am ready for F11. I love that optimism. To be fair, that's probably faster. Same. Well, definitely faster than what I would do.
I'm ready. I'm ready for F99. Bring it on. Flake 99.
Flake 9. I wonder who is the fastest. Who's the fastest sim racing commentator? I've got my suspicions. I know who it is.
Horrible.
They don't commentate on PSGL, but I'm fairly sure I know who it is.
You're telling me Jarno Opmeer commentates commentates F1 races? I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Max Verstappen commentates on himself in GT races, I guess.
He does.
In GT races he competes in as Silo. They're all on their out laps. They've got 2 minutes, and that includes Finley and excludes Kevin because Kevin.
Yes. Oliver Knott from Admirefoot. That's a decent shout. Very decent shout. I was thinking of somebody else, but Oliver Knott's definitely up there in the conversation. Really interesting conversation, actually. It's definitely not me, even though I'm not slow. I'm not particularly good at the game, and I haven't played it for quite a while.
We're going to get a blocking penalty here.
Oh, dear. That's not ideal. This is a circuit where things can back up quite a lot in the final sector. We're powering down, though, with Max von der Geest. We'll wait to see the message from the race direction. Max von der Geest, this is important, though. Red Bull have been just carving away at the championship lead that Williams have had over the last few weeks. Max von der Geest down in 16th with the other 3 first, 3rd and 6th. So this is very important for the second charging bull, the white bull, as we barrel down the back straight up towards the turn 6-7 chicane. The Sauber in the background getting very out of shape there. I think that was Tico coming through turn 5. Really threw it in, planted the loud pedal. The car not responding well there over the curves into turn 6. Really recalcitrant to rotate, just bottoming out a little bit as well over the undulations. That's not going to help Mats van der Geest's cause. 6 tenths per second down, but if he finds 2 tenths, he'll be up inside the top 10. Only 400ths, though, found in the first couple of sectors. Maybe some problems arising here for Max van der Geest, who's usually fairly reliable over one lap. Into the final sector we come. You can turn your battery off here, and he sliced off the inside of turn 12 earlier on in the session. Lazy corner cutting invalidation. This time keeps it between the white lines, using a lot of the... or not using a lot of the space, just to say, through turn 14. 2 corners left to negotiate. This is massive for the Constructors' Championship. Where does Van der Geest go? Cutting the beam up to P5. Great final sector.
5th, 4 now. There's still a lot of drivers to come in. Look at 3rd and 4th. Big gulf between them. But it's pretty much open season below.
Silo's done. Silo's done, as is Melwin Effman, and Snacks isn't improving either. There's an opportunity for somebody to steal this.
Yes, there is. And Melvin's done. Snatsk is still on a lap. Jeffrey goes up to 4th. Raywins goes up to 5th. We're looking at... That is Snatsk. No, it's Dirk. Dirk goes up to 4th. Who's next to go on a lap? I think it's Volakongen.
Snacks have found time.
9th.
Snacks has found half a 10th. This is big. Polymaki's done.
Out.
Failed to improve on his banker time. Good lap from Volakongen, reigning champion. Skokalevi 10th in the second Williams. Melwin Effman done. Silo done. What a marker this would be. Championship leader trying to take the championship tonight. Round the final corner. Can Snacks steer it at the last gasp? He does. 100th of a second separating the 2 championship protagonists. It's a buzzer beater from the Williams. Pierre Sharp stays down in 17th. Zane not improving. Up to P4 goes Finlay. Really strong late lap from the McLaren. But that is a big marker to lay down there for Snacks. Salo failed to improve. Invalidated. Return to the pits. Melwin Effman with a mistake in the first sector. And Snacks can take it at the last gasp by 100th of a second.
Yeah, I think Van der Geest has got to get out of the way just in case... he gets cut off by Tico coming around the final corner. It doesn't matter when Tico's coming in. I think that is the... Yeah, that's it. Snatsk has got a very crucial pole position. He has to hope that either he finishes second and gets the fastest lap and Silo wins, or in any... Pretty much... Silo basically needs to win tonight and hope Snack doesn't get the fastest lap and finishes second. He needs to gain, that's essentially what the case is, but the math is 4 or more points he needs tonight, Silo. Otherwise, Snatsk is champion. That, meaning 4 or more over Snatsk. Speaking of that, though, Snatsk is ahead of Silo on the front row. Melwin and Finlay make the second row. Dirk and Kirk in 5th and 6th. Ray Wintz and Van der Geest all VNT lineup on row 4. Row 5 is Leggy and Tico. Nicholas and reigning champion, not for long though, Volakongen, 11th and 12th. It's Skokalevi and Matt, 13th and 14th. 15th and 16th on the 8th row is Polymaki and Fleur Lustiger. On the penultimate row, it's Max Bricker and Pia Sharp. And rounding out the back row, it is Zane and Zunneberg. 19th and 20th. Zunneberg, of course, set too slow of a lap time and was later disqualified in the session for, well, I don't know what he was disqualified for, but it's probably something that the stewards did not like to see, and therefore they said, you know what, that's your lot, you're not going to set a good lap anyway.
Enter the final, the first corner backwards, which I don't think is necessarily in the FIA's regiment. Dylan Hogland, not a bad prediction, that 21 flat. Forgot about that. Well done, Dylan. That's a very solid one there. We didn't quite get into the 20s. We didn't break the 121 barrier. But yes, Snack, that's very important. That extra point just alleviates some of the pressure. If Silo is here next week, just means that Silo has to do that little bit more work. Remember, Silo, the form horse, won the last 3 races with Snacks following in behind in second. Snacks has only beaten Silo once so far this season. Got to do it tonight to guarantee the title. Silo with the... Yes, it was. Well, good law there, Logan. A win for Snacks. Just 3rd for Silo. Worst finish of the season. But 4 wins out of 5 for Silo. That's a big golden run that he's been on. That Snacks needs to try and hold these haymaker punches that are coming at him left, right and centre. Just needs to try and hold his ground, and he's doing a very good job of it because he's yet to finish outside the top 5 himself.
No, he hasn't, and that's pretty much Mr. Consistency right there can win you the title, like George Russell in the first half of the 2022 season. Never finished outside the top 5 until his home Grand Prix, obviously. We all know what happened. Don't remind me. I was supposed to be there, but I couldn't get tickets for it. And I missed a banger.
I was there for Thursday, then had a medical incident on Friday and ended up going home and watching it in bed. It wasn't ideal, it has to be said.
Tell me more about it after. Oh, sorry to hear it. I didn't know this.
It wasn't very fun. And I haven't been since, and I'm never camping again. But besides the point, let's not get bogged down with my ambulance journey.
No.
Abu Dhabi, though. Remember, if Snacks beats Silo, that's all he's got to do is crown champion officially tonight. We will wait and then see if Silo beats Snacks, what happens with Silo's attendance. By 4 points, yes. Has to outscore him by 4 points, which is the race win. So if Silo wins, we 100% will be going to the finale no matter what Snacks does, because Silo's got the advantage on countback with those 4 wins compared to the 2 wins that Snacks currently has.
And it can happen.
Can happen.
Armateo did win it back, but here we go. The saga will continue right now. Roll it, T-Top.
5 red lights, and for the penultimate time, we are racing. Cars glitching all over the place. 2 championship antagonists right at the front. The Snatch tries to cover the inside line. That's Dirk late on the brakes, lagging all over the show in the midfield. But Silo having to hot-foot it after the Williams, who's comfortable there on the run through turns 2 and 3. Finlay up to 3rd. Melwin Effman, though, side by side. Mercedes works car versus Mercedes customer car. Damage thrown up towards the back. Yellow flags flying as well. Got some desyncing going on.
What is going on? I have no idea what is going on. Ray Wentz has left the session and he's crashed out of the race. I'm not entirely sure what's happening.
Scott Kalevi's gone as well.
Oh, is this... I think
oh, look at this. 4 cars in, 5 cars taken out there. I think this could be the Demolition Derby signalling that this is going to be an aborted start. Jeffrey Kirk up to P3. We are going to be having a restart because the desyncing has absolutely shafted what's going on. Carbon fibre taken up. What a take out that is from Finlay on Jeffrey Kirk. Slammed into the wall. And then we've got some papaya dodgems going on. This is obviously not what's going to happen. We are restarting this one. Bit of an anticlimax, that one, it has to be said. Burr leading the way in the Sauber. Matt going off wide. No, it's not Matt. It was Jeffrey Kirk going off wide. We've got a car. We've got a Haas and a Ferrari together.
I had a sense we'd have a restart. But I didn't think it would be here.
That was some crazy desync. Matt
won the race. I mean, he's done an Olivier Panis of all sorts.
After all the bad luck.
Being the last driver standing.
All the bad luck that has befallen Matt in the last couple of weeks. He is the winner of the faux start. Congratulations, Matt. There's no prize apart from pride.
I mean, that's kind of like saying Lance Stroll wins, but, you know.
We're going to cut away from that one, though. What an exciting start it could have been. But no, the desyncing...
It's never happened, that's why.
The desyncing means...
It nearly happened.
We're going to have to go again. Did nearly happen, to be fair. And it's just anticlimactic. But everybody gets their soft compound tyres back. I find it unlikely anybody's going to use them off the start or indeed in the final stint as well, just because, you know, they're not a particularly good tyre. The mediums aren't a great tyre either. The hard tyres we know very strong in this game have been for the last few games. So we are just going to have a little interlude whilst we wait for what I believe will be the lobby itself resetting.
Yeah, let me just get that for you. That will be, of course, the... If I can get the grid, that's what I'm going to get for everyone at home, unless they have got it already.
Whilst you do that, we'll have another quick look at the standings going into this. 97 points now the number. The Snacks leading the way. With that extra point, he's just picked up 4 pole positions. Silo on a run of 3 wins in the last 3. A hat-trick. 3 of the best, he's made them pay. And 4 of the last 5, in fact, for Silo. With the only blemish on his record, Zandvoort, where he was 3rd after a strong performance from the championship leader, who all he has to do is beat the Red Bull today, and he will be champion. Yes, Matt, first victory in PSGL. We are both delighted for you, my friend. If we have a look at the Constructors Championship as well, that is a very closely run thing. Also, 1 point separating them. Now 2 points with that pole position point that Snacks has picked up. Williams on 108, Red Bull on 106. Nobody else even in the same postcode as things stand, which means it is going to be a duel between the pair of them, and I can't join the lobby, which is absolutely wonderful news.
Oh, we got a new lobby.
Yes.
Nobody told me. Oh no.
Please, yes,
This might
game.
cause
Thank
more
you for letting me in.
problems. I did not know that we had a. Who was the host of the lobby? by the
Dirk
way?
is the new host.
The
we have
before that.
the host before. I have absolutely no idea who the host before was. I apologise to whoever it was. I can't remember. Let me try and find out for you. The host before, name and shame maybe because their internet was poor. The host before was, drumroll please, it was Nicholas. Nicholas was the host before. I'm not going to name and shame because that feels unfair. We're 35 minutes in and we haven't even started the race yet, so a little bit behind schedule considering we started slightly delayed as well. Welcome in everybody if you're still here in the interlude that we've got. Hopefully you enjoyed qualifying. Good qualifying session. 3 contenders for pole position. In the end, it was the championship leader taking an all-important point to extend the gap to 22 now between himself and Silo. It does actually mean, in fact, that if Silo wins this race and Max is second, that's maths failing me. I think Max champion? Let me do the maths on this one. 93, that would be 16. No, we wouldn't. Scratch that. He wouldn't be champion. It would be... That's 22. It would be... why is my maths not working? What have I added up wrong?
I put the wrong crook in.
I can't remember. Maths has failed me suddenly, which is annoying. But we are... Oh, I've just been disconnected. Good. Excellent news. Right. Back in we go again. If I speak.
I can't speak.
I can't speak. Now it won't let me join.
Oh no. You want me to get it?
A comedy of errors, everybody, on a Monday night. There we go. We're joining again. Might get chucked out of it once more. We'll see what happens. I might end up driving. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I've got a new one.
Bang. We're in. Am I spectating? No. Yes.
No.
Goodness. It's never easy, is it, everybody? Never easy. If you're interested, because Logan has got the grid there, Snacks, Silo.
The top 12. He's done it already. I just try to help it, just in case he couldn't see it correctly.
But we can list it out now. Snacks Logan. You definitely didn't qualify on the front row. Silo Melwin, Finlay Dirk, Kirk, Ray Wintz, Max Bricker, Leggy, Tico, Nicholas Volokongan, the top 12. Askoka Levy, and then Polly Mackey, 13th and 14th. Clicked enter by accident.
Why is he calling for the car? I mean, it's going to set him to the Haas anyway. There's the only car left.
Makes life easier, I suppose. We are shortly getting underway. Got some green ticks starting to come up. I'm looking at the connection bars on the right-hand side of my screen, and I'm thinking, yikes, that doesn't look ideal. But we're going to continue on anyway. We'll see what happens.
Just I
think
Naturally,
Logan...
I'm going to get the drink. I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Logan will be back in 30 seconds. I thought he was getting some kind of prop that we were going to deliberate
I
on.
could.
Oh, well, who knows? Will we get started? I'm not 100% sure. The lights. Guy, everything's gone wrong. The counter in the lobby is beginning now. That 30 seconds is starting to count down. That rhymes and I didn't mean it to. Sorry. But yeah. Fingers crossed as I see only red status indication bars, formerly known by an absolute goat of the scene as Into the Barrier as the alien indicator. What an OG of the F1 YouTuber scene. He was.
The timing is perfect.
It is. It's literally just counted down to 0 seconds. And whoever's still here, who's not disappeared for what is effectively a glorified podcast in this interlude, if you remember Into the Barrier, you're an absolute real one. I'll just say that.
Yes, get in there.
Logan knows.
I mean, as a 13-year-old kid, I remember watching Into the Barrier, and I thought he was the GOAT.
He is the GOAT.
I remember watching, I don't think you might remember this, I Am the Stig 85. I actually used to be in some of his lobbies.
I don't remember.
They kicked me out because they thought I was annoying.
Can't think why.
That was 15 years ago, though. It was a brilliant series of videos. I don't think he goes by that name anymore. I think it's like Joey or something. That's his actual name. I watched like 40 something, I think. I was like 13 in the lobby. But I'll show you later.
We have loaded in though. Fingers crossed it stays like that. It is dry, obviously, because it's never rained for an Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Setups need to be reapplied, of course, and then the strategy sorted as well. I don't think it is ever going to.
I
highly doubt it as well, but wouldn't it be cool?
Not this year.
Definitely. Let's leave that.
They did do fire. I'm sure they did tests in the rain where they just sprayed the holes with water over it, like, you know.
Well, yeah, they get the fire engine or the water truck and just drop a load of water, but then that disappears after half an hour because I don't know if you're aware, quite hot in the UAE, so that water will evaporate pretty darn quickly. But welcome back, everybody. If you're just returning, we were delayed getting underway. We then had massive desyncing off the first start, so we're going again. We're 41 minutes in, and we've done one qualifying session that started late as well. But we're going to keep going, and hopefully this one keeps on tracking. Mama said electronic time is over. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Hopefully we'll see you next week as well. See you tomorrow.
Oh, not strict parenting again.
Hopefully you enjoy.
Night now as an adult. I'm 27. I'm still a parent.
Odd flex. Hopefully you enjoy what I imagine will be sleep. We all like sleep, don't we? And hopefully we will see you next week, Coda, who we definitely saw last week as well. I'm pretty sure. Regular.
Sleep is for the week.
Sleep is not for the week. Sleep is good fun. We're getting ready. We're going to full screen this one because we don't want to miss the start. Because, well... Again. We didn't miss it last time. It just didn't really happen.
Well, we did because the race didn't actually happen.
Yeah, so we didn't miss it.
Yeah, as we're saying, there is always a chance for Sile to win the title if he's available next week. Or Mateo came from several points down and won the title at the very end here at this track a few seasons ago, and I witnessed the comeback starting in Mexico because I think the original commentator had to dip before, and it was a brilliant race. That
I can't remember the race. I probably wasn't here. Where did Jeffrey
Yes, you were. It was me and you.
Oh, was I? Oh,
I think it was me. Sergioli had a.
Oh yes, I do remember that one. As we're getting ready to go. With the two championship protagonists on the front row for the second time this evening, we have 5 red lights, and we are racing for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Snacks on your left, Silo on the right, but it's Melwin Effman with the stronger start from P3. Snacks hangs it around the outside, keeps the lead of the race, ahead of Silo, Melwin Effman and Finlay. Jeffrey Kirk to P5, Dirt bump down spot, Wild as well over the curves through turns 3 and 4. Raywitz all over the back of him, off the road himself over the undulations and the bumps as they battle over P6 and 7. Reigning champion Volacong getting stuck in as well. Good start from P12 on the grid. One of the RBs very wide, getting out of shape. Raywitz gets a tap from the back as well. Jeffrey Kirk all over the back of Finlay, and we can see all the way over to the left-hand side. That is Max van der Geest. Raywitz on the curbs as well. 3 wide on the run down into the chicane. 3 wide behind them as well. Dirt very late on the brakes. This is quite the pinch point. It's not even Noah's Ark. It's 3 by 3 there as off the road goes Max van der Geest on the outside. The top 6 scampering off into distance. Top 5, I should say, because still knocking 10 barrels out of each other, this 3, and still trying to get involved is Dirk. And Max van der Geest falls to the back of this group now, and Dirk tries to absolutely launch it around the outside of Raywitz, throwing caution to the wind. The Green Machine trying to throw punches back at him, but Dirk pulls his pants down there because that is absolutely stunning.
It is indeed. It's like a right Royal Rumble down there, and that's just coming after WrestleMania last night. I'm sorry, I had to mention it. Matt is down to 14th despite winning the sprint race. That did happen. No, it didn't. but now he's fighting with Polymaki, who's in 15th, and they nearly collide. Heading into the final corner, DRS will be enabled on this lap. Lap number 2 has begun, and Polymaki pushed wide himself, and now he's still stuck in 15th. As we, oh, what the heck just happened there? I saw some damage there. Did someone touch the wall, perhaps? Because that wasn't supposed to happen.
Not that I am aware of. Maybe a little bit of desyncing still going on. I don't think the servers are 100% as things stand, as Polymaki still sinking his teeth there into Matt. This is into turn 5. The Mercedes forced to go the long way around. Bit of a tail snap for the Sauber of third behind. We'll just push him away from the current Mercedes Works car and the future Mercedes Works car. Battles going on down the back straight. Once again, it's Ray Wince and Max von der Gies. Leggy having to go defensive from Tico as well. The Aston Martin keeps hold of 7th, ahead of the Red Bull, then the reigning champion, and Leggy your top 10. Polymaki still in 15th, down. Held in 15th behind the Alpine of Matt, who's thinking more about offence rather than defence as he cruises up to the back of the second Ferrari of Pierre Chart, but can't throw it around the outside as Dirk did to such great effect on the previous lap. And a Scott Levy from P10, just noted there. Terrible start in the second. Williams not good for the Constructors' Championship. Battles are plenty still going on. This is into the tricky technical final sector. Tico trying to have it out with Leggy, with the McLaren rebuff in his response and rebuff in his riposte to try and keep 10th place within his grasp.
So we begin lap number 3, where DRS used to start being enabled, but then they changed it again. Skoka Levy is in. Now, did he get damage? I suspect so, because I don't think he'd be coming in this early otherwise. It doesn't look good for him. Meanwhile, further up, I do think the battles have quietened down, but that's mainly because we're not really at an overtaking spot. Is there going to be a move from Nicholas in the Ferrari? Not really. Tico now on the back of Leggy. And it seems like that's the closest battle at the top. Oh dear, I think there's a frame rate drop in my PS5. I hope it's not my PS5.
I had it as well.
Yeah, so it's a universal issue. And Tico was thinking about hitting the Leggy, but it's close enough. Thankfully, no collision there. He's all safe and sound. Coming through the chicane. Max van der Gies still chasing his VNT partner Ray Wince for 7th place. And that'll get into the sister Red Bull car of Cy Dirk, who is now 1 second behind Jeffrey Kirk in 5th. Hey, that rhymes. But the driver with 6 and 7 on his name tag is up in 5th. And 1 second ahead. No DRS threats against him, it seems like, as Nicholas is still stuck behind Tico, trying to get into the 11th, just one shy on the bubble of the points, which of course is 1 point.
Still, though, looming large in the mirrors of the Sauber. This battle for 11th and 10th just outside the points-paying positions. Ray Wince 1.7 seconds down, 1.82 seconds down on Dirk. Losing a hell of a lot of time there coming out of the final corner, backing the pack up to some tune as Ray Wince got some issues. Losing a lot of time here is Ray Wince, and yes, disconnections going on. I think the server's still having a bit of a funny with us now inside using the Mario Kart Star there, and that is a freebie for Max von der Gies down the inside into turn 5. Ray Wince has disconnected from the session. Through goes Volokong, and the frame rate dropping once again as Leggy says, thank you very much, I'll have a piece of the action as well. And after such a strong qualifying, the Aston Martin tumbling through the field. Nicholas going every which way, ducking this way and that, trying to find a way to slide past the Sauber of Tico. That was a day late and $1 short from Pierre Chart, but made it work around the outside of the AI. The Aston Martin, incredibly so at this stage, has pushed everybody back with 3 wide. As there goes Matt, there goes Polymaki. What a move from the Alpine to get one over on the Mercedes. Polymaki still trying to have it out around the outside. Tico's pointing in the wrong direction though. Had a little bit of a tete-a-tete with the Ferraris. We could be 4 wide here on the run into the final sector. It's the Alpine of Matt looking for the space. Polymaki giving the cold shoulder. Nicholas to the inside as Ray Wince is back, both off the road. Tico into the run affair and slammed into the Ferrari. That's the most surprising thing I've ever seen. Scratch that, no it's not. Big damage for the Haas as well. No safety car, but a virtual one. And Tico is done. What? Max Bricker with big damage. Ray Wince has, I think, got back in the session properly, but that was absolute carnage. Virtual safety car, I believe. Can't see the yellow dot on the track map, but that was absolutely wild. 4 wide into the final sector. What are we doing?
And I missed it because I was trying to invite Ray Wince back, and my computer and my PS5 was freezing for some reason. What a shame.
Absolutely wild stuff there the most surprising thing, nope, the most unsurprising thing you could have ever seen there. Given the cold shoulder off the road, charging back on, and a little bit of chaos. DRS enabled as we're back rocking and rolling. Top three separated by 0.8 per second. Jeffrey Kirk has been caught napping because blasting past goes Dirk with the helping hand of DRS. And after a poor start, back up now into the top 5 goes the Racing Bulls driver, the lead Racing Bulls driver, with his teammate Volokongan bogged down after the trials and tribulations that befell Ray Wince with the disconnection on the previous lap with the helping hand of the rear wing flap. There should be another Racing Bulls car moving past the senior team, and the reigning champion up into 7th position. As things stand, he will be handing that title over to Snacks, leading the way. Kevin Dunneberg, who was going for race runs in qualifying, now up into 12th, gets ahead of Fur, with Nicholas dropping back now the second Ferrari to 14th. They were line astern a few moments ago. Zane also puts one over on Matt, both of them recently out of the pits. Medium tyres for the Aston Martin, hards for the Alpine.
Yeah, Nicholas trying to get ahead of Luciger and Kevin Zunneberg up there as well, up at 12. He started right at the back with all the incidents behind. It looks like it's helped him. I'm surprised it wasn't a full safety car. Did he not learn from what happened to Latifi as Dirk's gone wide out of turn 1, and that's not going to help him at all. He's going to have Jeffrey Kirk right behind him, I suspect, in a few seconds. There it is. But it doesn't look like he can get past. Oh, I've just seen a bit of desync. I think that car just popped back a bit. That's not good to see. But hopefully it doesn't impact the race any further. He's going to make the move on Dirk and take 5th place. Tell you what, impressive race from Jeffrey Kirk so far. Ray Wince has retired. Looks like the disconnect did not help at all. And that will be a good night for him. As the getting close at the top. Look at this. 2 temps teed up.
That's the closest Silo has got so far. Been very happy to play second fiddle and just play the spectators game as things stand. But yeah, that gap did erode down to just over 1/10 of a second. And for the first time, Snacks properly having to look in his rear view mirror. Still with Melwin Effman and Finlay in hot pursuit as well. 2.5 seconds back to the duel in Kirk and Dirk. And then the reigning champion Volokongan, who has managed to erode that gap by half a second on this lap so far. Just towing along Mats van der Geest and Leggy. Top 9, all on the medium compound tyre. Then you've got the hard runners that are yet to stop, or started on the alternate strategy, I should say. But yeah, Champ, Polymaki, Zunneberg, Fur, and Nicholas. And then the drivers that either pitted under the VSC or picked up a little bit of damage for their troubles. With Zane, big wobble there for Volokongan through turn 1. Matt, Max Bricker, and Eskoka Levy, who pitted at the end of lap 2 for soft tyres. Lapping pretty darn quickly, but not the compound you want to find yourself on. As the gap out in front again comes down. Couple of tenths smaller than it was this time a lap ago. Do we think about it into the chicane? Your optimal overtaking point, you would say, is into turn 9 with that second dose of the DRS to try and blast through and make sure that the car in front can't just fly back past. We don't see the Mario Kart style racing that we're getting in real life at the moment. 3.5 tenths per second, still the gap between the Williams and the Red Bull. Ray Wince is out of the session again, but the lead is going to change hands for the first time. Snacks doesn't fight it to the outside, and that is Silo barreling down the inside of 9 to take over at the top and put Snacks in his back pocket for the first time. And if it stays like this, the championship will go to the final race. We just have to wait and see what happens.
To win, we'd have to get a perfect shutout where Silo would have to win and pole position. Actually, no, sorry. With Snacks taking the pole position, he has to. I keep forgetting the fastest lap is not in this. How bad am I at this sport? Silo has to pretty much win and hope Snacks doesn't finish second.
Well, it doesn't finish at all, because as it stands,
Yeah,
Silo
doesn't finish at all tomorrow next week.
Silo to 92. No, Silo to 91, sorry. So I think the championship would actually be sealed here if it finishes as is. That would be 18 points. Snacks with 12 for second, plus the 1 point he got in qualifying. Yellow flags are out for Max Bricker, who's pointing in the wrong direction. Looped it round going through turn 14. That's not a good way to start your day, sir. Rear tyre's going to be screaming for a little bit of mercy as a couple of cars into the pits on the previous lap as well. Jeffrey Kirk and Max van der Geest, the first to blink out of that top 10 group, both of them bolting on the hard tyres unsurprisingly, and also unsurprisingly that is the end of Max Bricker's day. But yes, for Snacks not to win the championship from this position, he would have to drop down to 3rd position.
Yeah, he'd be on 90. he'd be on 91 and Snacks would be on 109, which means it would be out of reach. So he has to pretty much hope luck is on his side. Snacks just has to stay close to Silo and stay away from Melvin and the rest of them. And to be fair, it's not going to be easy. There are 3 other SCI drivers in the top 6. Melvin is the odd one in. I said that intentionally, odd one in.
He technically is, and it is interesting because you've got the 2 stablemates fighting it out for the championship of Silo and Snacks. I think Silo now pretty comfortable to run in the lead of this race and just try and see what happens behind. And if Silo isn't turning up next week, then Snacks is already champion. But he'd like to get it done and dusted without the doubt and without the jeopardy, perhaps, of that title decider in a week's time, even though he would be the heavy favourite. Still the top 4 tracking away. Dirk 4 seconds off the back of them, with Volokonga just cruising up to the back of his team. That gap's come down by another second in the past few laps, towing Leggy and Pierre Champ very nicely along with him. Muskoka Levy into the pits again. Not retiring though, and I can respect that wholeheartedly.
I can too. So keep fighting as we do. Silo and Snacks still at the top. Silo on the edge of losing out the World Championship. Despite leading the race, he'll win, but at what cost, they say. Melvin is going to try and play spoiler, try and spice up the excitement in this championship race, try and WWE-ify it, maybe. You know, and you know they have in a no disqualification match, they have people interfering in the match, kind of like WrestleMania 40. If you don't know your wrestling, you'll never know.
Dirk is really struggling, by the way. Big whack of oversteer coming through the penultimate corner. Volokonga's taken 0.8 of a second out of him on this lap. Those medium tyres falling by the wayside. And Leggy also clearly starting to struggle, maybe feeling a bit leggy as well. Sorry, that's a terrible pun, but dropped out of the 1 second window of Pierre Charp as well. I think he's going to be gobbled up by that lead Scarlet Ferrari very shortly, with Polly Mackie a further 1.5 seconds back. Kevin Zuneberg, Fur and Nicholas still in tandem with the Silver Arrow. That was a bit unstable there for Pierre Charp into turn 5, but struggling to plant the right foot down is Leggy coming out of it. And this should be regulation if you want to make the move, of course, into the chicane. We're gaining all the time. DRS lap is open. Hand might be forced here for Pierre to the inside into turn 6. Leggy not going to fight that one too hard. Opportunity maybe to get the place back as Tico has left the session. Already retired, of course, in the opening couple of laps. Will Leggy try and take this one back, though? That's the question. Hasn't got the pace. Maybe we can just try and halt the charge and cool the charge of Pierre Charp. But no, not any interest in that one, and does get officially relegated down to 6th as Volokonga now applying the blowtorch to his teammate in front as well.
Yes, he is. So the leader still being Silo won't win the championship unless Snacks falls below 2nd place. And he shows up next week, of course, hoping. Is there a reason why he may not show up?
I'm not 100% sure. I was informed by Leon, who gave us that very important piece of information, that he was potentially not going to be turning up, but it could change. And I imagine
if he's in the championship race, I'd imagine he'd show up. I think that might be why. He's not given a reason. I think if he can't win the championship, he might as well. You know, I can't win this. I think the virtual safety car was a hindrance to Dirk and the gang. They were quite close up, like 1 second, and now it's like 5-6 seconds. It's not great to see that, but you never know. We could get a safety car, and that could bring them closer. As I'm still getting problems down the back stretch. When you drive down the back stretch, Volokongan is trying to challenge his teammate. Looks like the truce is off between these teammates. Oh gosh! Oh dear! Oh, that's a huge slide from Dirk. And he immediately loses the position. And here comes Pierre Sharp as well. Going to take the position like taking candy from a baby, does Pierre in the Ferrari. And now he's going to be closing up to Volokongan. Yeah, we're still getting lag issues everywhere. Leggy is now going to be his next opponent for Dirk. And that will be for 7th place.
Wouldn't be surprised if Dirk's in at the end of this lap. Those rear tyres look absolutely shot. Yes, we've got a good example coming out of turn 7, but has been really struggling for race pace. Finlay 2 falling off the back of the leading trio into the pits. It's actually Volokongan that jumps into pit road. So Dirk going to be hung out to dry by his teammate. And Volokongen's going to strap on a brand new set of boots, hard compound tyres, to take him to the end of this race. And the suffering for Dirk will have to continue as Nicholas is the fourth to bade adieu and jump out of that one again. Leggy as well, struggling with absolutely no rear grip, waving the back of that McLaren on the curbs through turn 1. So finding himself in a similar boat to Dirk. HMS careful, as we do lose Nicholas there. Confirmed. Looking at the drivers that have already stopped. Jeffrey Kirk in P10. Romping along at a serious rate of knots, rattling along nicely. There comes Max von der Geest as well, just behind Matt. And there is Finlay and Volokongen, a further 6 seconds off the back of the McLaren. This could be an opportunity for Finlay if he can work his way through the traffic to maybe get some track position over his main 3 rivals at the sharp end.
I'm worried. I'm worried if the lag impacts the battles. If the collision happens between these 2 drivers, that's it. The championship is over. Because, of course, Snats won't be able to rejoin the race, and it doesn't matter where Silo finishes. He'll be the champion. Not Silo, Snats will finish. He'll be the champion. Silo will lose out. And as we see a move between Max van der Geest for 11th on Matt, and that is Polymaki and Leggy going at it for 6. I don't think it'll be 6 for long. They've still got to pit, and he nearly hits him as the leaders are coming in.
Medium tyres are absolutely shot, absolutely dead here, running on the rims of those white, or the yellow wall tyres, I should say. Dirk and Leggy finally going to lay them to rest. Both of them with absolutely no rear grip left at all. Dirk very close to locking up there, actually, into the pit lane. I'm interested to see now as Snacks is held. No, not quite. Thought he was going to drop behind Melvin Efferman there. Lucky boy. Max von der Geest and Jeffrey Kirk with the undercut will find themselves in the net race lead and net second. Matt goes through as well. There's Finlay. How's the undercut work for the McLaren? Yes, he's ahead of Silo, but only just. Through the warm-up phase, these guys go, but Silo to the inside into turn 5. Throws it down the inside of the McLaren. Can Silo try and keep hold of this one? DRS will be will be active for a couple of drivers, notably for the Red Bull with the Alpine only half a second up the road. And that does put a car between the 2 main championship protagonists. And could that be important as Snacks doesn't go for it into turn 7? Or 6 and 7, I should say.
Oh, no, not again.
That's what the chicane is.
Oh, dear. Not my fault. Yeah, I don't know if
Snacks to the outside. Sorry to jump in there. He's trying it to the outside of Finlay. Tried to throw it all the way around the outside Dirk style from earlier on, but Finlay was wise to it, and this is a real big blockade going on. Silo balked, surely not to the outside of turn 12. Going to leave himself vulnerable. Finlay into the back of the Red Bull. Just a little bit of contact there, saying, come on, get on with it. As they try and get through Matt, who pitted 8 laps ago, and really struggling compared to the fresh rubber on the hard compound tyres. What a train this is. Silo trying it to the inside of the final corner, ducking, weaving all over the place. Matt goes defensive into the final corner. No, he doesn't. He peels off into the pits.
If Banner thrown into the works between the 2 SCI championship drivers, it doesn't matter who wins the championship, it's going to be an SCI driver anyway. You might as well fight each other to the death. Doesn't matter. Friendly fire between the 2. And Finlay has put a bottleneck into Snat's hopes. Hope there's no team orders then if Finlay is told by Snats to let it through. Hope I've not just jinxed it. But now, Van der Geest is next, and this is the on-track teammate off Silo. It should be giving him an easy move through, and now it's going to get even harder for Finlay and Snacks to approach. And if Finlay can get through, he's going to get a fight with Max van der Geest, is he? He's going to take it to the next corner, but it looks like Finlay is going to get through, and this is bad for Snats. If he can't get through, he's in trouble.
Got to get past now. Really on the move here. Can he find a way to turn 9? Not close enough. Needs to ensure he doesn't get dropped here. Really good drive through the middle part of turn 9. Got to be into turn 12, you would think, if he's going to keep tabs on the duo in front. But Mats van der Geest is comfortable once again. 5-lap difference in the age. And that is Mats van der Geest off the road. I think he did, like you say, just let them go. I don't think that was a genuine mistake. And that is Snacks through. Next up is Jeffrey Kirk, 2 seconds up the road. And then you've got the drivers yet to stop.
Yeah, I don't think he was fighting that. If it was a mistake, correct me if I'm wrong. It looks like Pierre is still in the lead by like 3 seconds, and Zunneberg is in second place. All he has to do is hope the safety car comes in. Jackpot! No.
Goal hanging for the safety car.
It'd stay on the hards.
Jeffrey Kirk to the inside of turn 5, trying to take 4th place off the hands of Fur. And that is easy as you like, elementary, my dear friend. And with that 7-lap advantage on the tyres, he pitted These guys in the top 4, excluding the Alpine, haven't, and that is one of the easiest overtakes you're going to see quite a while under braking. If they're not going to fight that into the braking zone either of the chicane. 1.3 back to Silo. Finlay in between the championship protagonists. Snacks has to finish second if Silo wins the race to win the championship tonight and absolutely guarantee it.
Oh, and Skokolevi is
That's
also
big.
retired from the race. That is out for the race, and that is 15 left in the Grand Prix. 2 drivers were penalties, with the 2 drivers that just had a battle in turn 5?
It was.
Yeah, 5. And now there's going to be a fight between Polymaki and Jeffrey Kirk. The top 3 are yet to pit.
Silo to the outside of the penultimate corner. Absolutely no way. Doesn't get the time of day. Switches to the inside.
Oh, yes.
Superb racecraft there from Silo.
Oh!
And look at the cork in the bottle there as Finlay almost slams into the back of the Sauber through the final corner. They're not going to send it to the inside of turn 1, but sliding wide goes fur off the road. Through goes to Williams as well. Is Melwood Effman going to find the space? Has to do the hard work, do the dirty work through turns 3 and 4. And it brings Snacks onto the haunches of Finlay. Will he try it into turn 5 as Jeffrey Kirk through dives down the inside of Polymaki this time? Deja vu from the previous lap. The only problem is they've now got a rampaging bull behind them, trying to work his way through and put even more distance between himself and the drivers he's racing on track. This could get edgy. The Silo... What?
Sorry, I think there was lag, but I thought they just collided there. That's what I saw on my screen. I do apologise, folks. But thankfully, Silo is through. For a second, I thought they had collided into each other, but it must be the desync again.
Look at this. Finlay through on Polymaki.
Sorry.
Max in 7th. Silo up to 2nd on Jeffrey Kirk. Not Charlie Kirk, Jeffrey Kirk.
No. Don't say that. Anyway, look at this battle between... is that Snatsk and Polymaki getting involved?
2 Mercs. Melwin to the outside. Polymaki's going to find himself shunted down a spot there on the old tyres.
This is bad for Snatsk.
It's not great, but
Very
he's managed
bad.
he has managed to keep Finlay within arm's reach, but he's got Melwin Effman to deal with quite significantly. Silo has managed to scamper off into the distance. Not really a non-factor. My bad, chat. It is okay, Formula Cryptic. I can understand the mistake with the first names potentially there on the Kirks. Formula Cryptic, by the way, is asking Logan to stay in VC, so Formula Cryptic can chat with you if you're interested in that one. Anyway, though, Finlay to the inside into turn 5. Kim Zuniba down the inside. Easy as you like. That is P5, but they're 2 seconds more than that off the back of Silo. Snacks having to follow in the footsteps of the McLaren as well. It's Harry. Oh, it's Harry. Oh, it's Harry. Okay. That makes more sense.
Oh, hey, Harry.
Here comes the Williams. DRS flap is open. Remember, has to finish second if Silo wins the race, and that is clinical once more from that beautiful blue and black Williams. Melwin Effman getting stuck in behind as well. A little bit of side-to-side contact, but muscles his way through. As Silo's going to blast into the lead of the race once more. And once again, it's 2 cars separating himself and the chasing pack. Lap 17 of 29. The air chart from Jeffrey Kirk.
Kevin spun.
Finlay, Kevin Zunberg pointing in the wrong direction. Is he? No, he's just lost the back of the car and throws himself out of contention. The 2 Mercs have gone through.
Yeah, he collided with, I believe it was Melvin, trying to keep his 6th place. And now he's got Paul Congan, the reigning champion, but it won't be for long because, of course, he's been away most of it as fighting with Kevin Zunberg under the tyres. Again, apologies for the outburst. I thought there was going to be a crash between Silo and one of the back marker drivers that was going to be passed immediately, but it was probably just desync. I got myself lost in a moment there. So I think now, as some of the drivers are hitting, I think the VSC, if this didn't happen, I think Snats wouldn't have it this difficult, all honesty.
It's a tricky one to call. I don't necessarily think it changed too much. I think getting undercut by Finlay was the problem. Finlay's posed the issue here for Snacks by getting in between them. It's allowed Silo that buffer to try and pull through us. To the inside into turn 6 we go with the McLaren. Slides it down the inside of the Alpine. Jeffrey Kirk going to fight this, remember. He's already made a stop. Can try and go to the end. Not a lot of space left to the outside. And Finlay, in fact, off the road, over the white line. And that is a 3-second penalty. That is very important for Snacks, which means he can just try and sit behind the McLaren. He's still getting involved. Turns in on him. Snacks got to stay out of trouble. Slams the anchors on. As Jeffrey Kirk goes wide, Snacks tries to fly his way through. Finlay, I think, is still okay with no damage, and they've caught up to the back of the Ferrari, but with Silo 3 seconds up the road.
Yeah, that was Melvin Efferman. I can say, I can't stop you. Look, I'm not going to mention it anymore. Pierre's finally in the pits. Silo and Finlay and Snats are your top 3. And Snats is loving this because he's just seen Finlay. But he's got to keep it clean as well. And he's got to stay ahead of Melvin because, of course, Melvin is not in the SCI faction. So he's going to try and play spoiler. He's probably got popcorn or front row seat for the finale in Saudi. Duel in the desert, it may be. It's in the desert right now, but just not as close as Pierre Sharp is making his way out of the pits. I do think he'll be ahead of Paulie Mackey. No, he won't. So that is somewhat important. It is for the last points position.
Remember the Constructors battle as well. Red Bull, 2 points behind Williams going into the race after Snacks picks up the pole position point. But with a retirement for Scott Kalevi, Mats van der Geest is down and out as well in 12th. Still an opportunity maybe to pull through. This could be the lead changing in the Constructors Championship, with Silo looking to make it 4 wins out of 5 from 5 wins out of 6 and go 4 straight. It should be quite the golden run, and it might give him the smallest of opportunities as we head into that duel in the desert, like you said, in a week's time in Jeddah, where we know absolutely anything can happen, especially around the last corner of the last lap. And Melvin Effman really not making life easy here for Snacks, who knows that if things stay as they are, he will be champion. With that penalty, 3-second penalty for Finlay as we start lap 20. But Melvin is going to be like an uncaged bull in these closing stages. He's going to leave nothing to chance. The podium's all but confirmed, although Volokongren has quietly gone about his business here. The reigning champion looking very strong there, came in a lap earlier, has managed to erode this gap down to 1.3, has left his teammate firmly in his wake, as that is an interesting line there for Finlay through turn 5. As Scott Kalevi out of the session, already retired. This could be the opportunity. Suddenly Finlay under the microscope here as the DRS lap opens for the Williams. Over to the inside, into the middle of the road we go, and this should be fairly standard. And for the time being, at least, Snacks is up into second on the road. Still an opportunity with a double dosage of DRS on the run into turn 9. So the yellow flags is out for Zunenberg again, who's in the wall through turns 4 and on the run up to turn 5. But this is important. Can Snacks hold on to this one into turn 5? Yes, Finlay's not close enough. And what is happening with Zunenberg? Oh, he's got no front wing.
I'll keep tabs on that. He's lost his front wing. He's crashed at, I believe, turn 4. And he's going to have to go around the entire track without at front wing. So no intervention into the race as Van der Geest is being passed by Jeffrey Kirk. No intervention in terms of the race. So still green flag conditions. Silo has a 6-second lead. The bottleneck has helped him massively. But has it helped him in the championship? Snats is now in second. And with Melvin getting held up by Finlay, that is not good news. Because it looks like he might get the podium, but he's not going to even be close to Snacks. This championship may be wrapped up soon.
Got a rear gunner now. The Snacks with the 3-second penalty for Finlay. Melvin Effman will have to try and muscle his way past the McLaren and then challenge the Williams in the closing stage. You can see him lighting up the rear tyres on the exit of turn 5 as he plants the loud pedal into the floor. But with the DRS still being handed over to the Papaya McLaren of Finlay, life is not going to be straightforward for Melvin, especially if Finlay burns battery like he does there on the run into the 6-7 chicane. Able to keep Melvin Efferman at arm's length with Volokongren just cruising up to the back of them as well. Kevin Zunenberg with a penalty. That will probably be him jumping out, and it is. We're down to 14 as Melvin with a good run through turn 8 into 9. Do we throw it to the inside? They're converging. Jinx over, has a little look. I would have been moving over in the mirrors. That just sends Finlay slightly wide. Foothold in the battle perhaps for the Silver Eye, but didn't have the drive coming out of turn 9. Got himself alongside, but couldn't quite maintain the momentum. And once again, Melvin Effman has to dig in the trenches into position number 4. Finlay robust in his defence as Snacks tries to scamper off into the distance. 3/4 of a second the gap. Now between second and third. And if Snacks can shake this duo off his tail, he'll be feeling a lot better about himself.
He will be indeed. 4.5 seconds separates Finlay and Melvin for 4th place. That is crucial for Snacks, because it looks like he's going to have an easy run as Zane gets a penalty. He's down 13th. 14 drivers remain. Kevin Sonnenberg is out of the race. It looks like Snatsk, despite missing out by 6.7 seconds, is going to be your champion with 1 round to go.
Big moments coming up, everybody. Lap 22 of 29, penultimate race of the season, penultimate race on the F125 cars, penultimate race in the ground effect era. And we could be crowning the 42nd season champion in just a few moments' time. Under 10 minutes for Snacks to try and withstand the attacks from Melwin Effman and perhaps from Volakongen as well. Reigning champion, only making his 3rd appearance of the season, but not going to hand over that crown without a fight. Or could he be the disruptor, the joker in the pack, with the 3 aces sat in front of him? As Pierre Sharp, flying at the moment on his medium tyres, disposes of Matt with ease into turn 9 there down the inside. Matt looking to score points. He won the faux race, remember, about half an hour ago, and still trucking along nicely, but with Polymaki taking chunks of time out of the Alpine, could be finding himself now falling to the lower reaches of the top 10.
So 7 laps to go. Cream slowly rising to the top. The tension you can cut in here with a knife or machete, because it is absolutely ramping up, because Snatsk just has to hold position and he's the champion. Silo just crossing his fingers. Well, I don't think you should be doing that while you're driving. Zane has quit the race, down to 13 drivers in this race. Only 10 are going to score. As you know, Melvin struggling to find any ground on Finley, who is penalty laden.
17-point gap, no, be an 18-point gap, courtesy of Snacks taking the pole position point. He was 21 heading into this, extended to 22 in qualifying, 4 points taken back by Silo's 18. That would mean he'd be a point short, because he would have it on countback, courtesy of having what would become 5 wins compared to Snacks' 2. But yes, this could be the crowning moment for the Williams team. Constructors' Championship still very much up in the air as well. If Max von der Gies can try and steal a couple of points, it'll make their life easier going to Saudi Arabia. The Jeffrey Kirk to P10, pushing Polymaki down a further spot. All of them converging on each other, with Pierre Sharp and Matt just a second now up the road. If Max von der Gies can do this, the gap was 2 points in the Constructors. It will stay 2 points in the Constructors' Championship, but it will flip, with Red Bull taking the lead for the first time this season away from Williams. Max von der Gies, he holds the cards really in this Constructors' battle. As we return to the front in the Drivers' Championship crusade, Finlay 0.8 of a second off the back of Snacks. The Championship leader turning up the wick here, and just clinging onto the coattails is that McLaren.
Tell you what, Finley's getting Melwin, is getting restless. He wants to get past Finley ASAP. He's going to have a chance to do it in the back stretch. 6 laps to go. They're both going to have DRS, but it looks like Finley is going to have it closer. He's going to have it easier. It doesn't seem like he's going to be even phased by Snacks, and that's been the story of the last few laps, and it is frustrating Melvin more and more, as the only battle I can see is Dirk and Leggy for 6, which is somewhat crucial for points. And then the battle between Pierre and the 2 Alpines of Jeffrey and Matt. I'm just going to call him Jeffrey now, because I don't want to mix him up with Dirk. I said Dirk.
Dirk and Kirk battling, well, one of them in 6th, one of them in 9th. And Jeffrey Kirk does have some serious wheels at the moment, but the 2 Alpines still going into combat. Matt had a look to the inside of turn 9, just been dispossessed of that place by his teammate. Pierre Sharp, currently the rolling roadblock in front of them. Oliver not jumping in, Siler gapping the field. Since he's got into the lead of this race, and since he dropped the group behind out of DRS, it's been a one-man show out in front, but it still might not be enough to take the championship. Nope. He's needing some help, either from Melwin Effman or from Volakongen, to get ahead of Finlay and ahead of Snacks to take this to the finale. He'd be a point short as things stand. The gap will be 18 with 17 available in 7 days' time. And Volakongen, in fact, is still struggling to stay with that trio, battling for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Has he been dropped out of the DRS? I think a good run through turn 5 will keep the reigning champion in the equation. Really hovering, teetering on the edge. Doesn't have the rear wing flap open. And we look to Melwin Effman, who getting out of the slipstream, getting out of the turbulent wake, calling that car down. Once again, showing no interest in sliding it to the inside of turn 6.
So 5 to go. And Melvin is getting frustrated because he knows that this championship will be over the way it stands. And he won't get the satisfaction of taking it to the final race of the season. Snacks just has to keep it together. He can even let Finlay through if he wants, as long as he doesn't lose third place.
Oh, we've got a mistake. Jeffrey Kirk's wide, allowed his teammate through. Buffet driving, help yourself. 3 go through. And that is Jeffrey Kirk out of the points paying positions. Had a time penalty either way. But Matt been handed a freebie there because he was under the cosh massively with Polly Mackey. He was ducking and weaving underneath the rear wing of the Enstone-based car into turn number 9. And just in front, Pierre Sharp hanging the back of that Ferrari out through turn 14 too. As you can see, really grappling for grip there. Von der Geest now on the move perhaps. All over the back of Polly Mackey, but that's a penalty that could put pay to Von der Geest's chances of scoring points and once again turn the tables in the Constructors' Championship back into the favour of Williams.
And that's just what Williams need this point, because especially with Snacks about to win the title at this rate, pending that there is no disasters coming up. Jeffrey Kirk getting restless, trying to get into the inside, trying to get a point here. Jeffrey Kirk gets, as always, side by side. This might not end well. Clashing with wheels. We have to look at this. It is a points position they're fighting for up ahead. Oh my goodness me. They're going to crash into someone if they're not careful. Look at that, 4 wides. And it's not even for the championship. It's for points though. And it looks like Polly Mackey's going to hang on. Or is he? Jeffrey Kirk? Oh, this is going to end badly if they're not careful. Oh, collided wheels, and this is going into the next turn. Turn 8, and we've got a spinner. Jeffrey Kirk's in trouble. And somehow, there's no damage.
Oh, these 2 Alpines, though. Driving like it's for the championship. Back down the inside. Matt doesn't fight that too hard into 12. He does pick the pocket of his teammate. Von der Geest still in this fight as well, but Matt could and should inherit the points. But Pierre Sharp has managed to scamper off into the distance. Now 3 seconds clear of this group after the jostling on the previous lap. Is that Von der Geest into the pits? Yes, and he did run into the back of Kirk, who is rejoining. And that will probably be a retirement. There's the customary penalty. And where is the retirement? There it is. We are down to 12. We've lost 8 drivers. Wow. And speaking of that, 8's the magic number because look at the gap out in front.
Yeah, 8008 it was, but unfortunately, at what cost? There is no change at the top right here, and it seems like that Snacks is going to head to join the likes of Jarno Opmeer, Big C, Wilson Hughes, and many others. Volakongen, of course, Armateo, elite list of names, and yes, Jarno Opmeer was the season 25 world champion before we went to PC, so the PlayStation F1 was considered the World Championship. Now that's considered that's considered the PC, obviously. That's still the PlayStation Championship is on the line here though.
Polly Mackey bumped down to P10, but with 2.5 laps to go, opportunity to stick like glue to the back of the Alpine if he possibly can. But those medium tyres don't look particularly nice, and it could be an exclusive battle between Polly Mackey and Matt for the final point inside the top 10 if Jeffrey Kirk can get his skates on in the last 2 tours. The last 2 tours of the Yas Marina circuit here tonight. Still 8 seconds out in front. Finlay tottering on the edge of falling out of 1 second, but every single time around just manages to pick up the helping hand of DRS, which is keeping Melvin Efferman and keeping Volakongen at arm's length and doing a big favour to Snacks, which means he can cruise it home in these last couple of laps. Just over 5 kilometres away from being a PSGL PSF1 champion. Dirk still under pressure as well. Leggy, this feels like it's been 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 laps coming as he's been tucked underneath the rear wing of the Racing Bull, but looking like he's happy to wait until the last lap in the McLaren to get in between the 2 Racing Bull drivers. As I say that, DRS there, a little bit of battery potentially on the run into turn 9. Dirk's already pulled off one superb move to the outside on the opening lap of this corner. Leggy doesn't fancy it, happy to play the spectators game once more.
So we're almost there. Snacks can see the light at the end of the tunnel. He can see the finish line. Just 1 lap to go, which Silo will lead, but it will be at a significant cost. the PlayStation Championship. I don't know why I'm saying PC. I'm not. I'm gonna go PC next year.
Next year? Next season?
You know what I mean.
And we don't necessarily know when that is happening, but the final lap, the lap of destiny, the day of destiny perhaps for Snacks, hasn't finished outside the top 5 throughout the entire season. Only twice finished off the podium, has been the personification of perfection when it comes to consistency. Melwin Effman still hanging it out there, going to inherit 3rd position. Volokongan's fallen off the face of the planet behind him. He's going to hand his crown over to this Williams driver. And we wait to see if Melwin Effman's got anything left in the tank. Is he happy just finishing 4th on the road and inheriting that 3rd place courtesy of the time penalty for Finlay, who could still and should still, with Volokongan falling backwards, keep 4th place, which as a reserve, and I think it's the first appearance of Finlay this season, an extremely impressive job, considering the trials and tribulations that he had in season 41. But we turn our attention away from the champion, and we have to go to this man, who has been superb since coming back in full time. This will be 5 wins out of 6. The golden run of 4 in a row for Silo. Not enough to steal it away. He won't take it to the last, but what a performance again. 8.5 seconds clear. Cuts the beam to take the win, but just behind. Finlay's fallen back. And your season 42 champion rounds the final corner. He knows it now. Snacks to the line. And the crown will be handed over. Melwin Efferman in 3rd. Finlay to 4th. Volokongan in 5th is usurped as the Prince of PSGL PSF1. And the king is now Snacks. I hope we don't get copyrighted for that.
It's a victory thing. I don't think we'll be copyrighted for that.
Dirt comes home in 6th.
Wasn't too loud, was it?
No, it wasn't. Dirt comes home in 6th, keeps Leggy at bay on the last lap. You wonder if the McLaren could have made that move a few laps before. As we've got Owen coming in. What a name that is. Owen, I can't remember if you were in PSGL PSF1. I think you were, but definitely a reoccurring fixture in F2, certainly. Very, very quick at Spa, I remember. Cookie as well in GG Snacks. I skipped over the awards, which I don't normally do, and that's annoyed me. Once again, though, for the 4th race running, it is Silo from Snacks. But Snacks finally can take that crown and clutch it to his chest. Here's your champion of season 42, the final champion of F1 25. Before we go over to the DLC, the final champion of the ground effect era, of course, as well in PSGL PSF1. Melwin Efferman ahead of Finlay. Volokongan, Dirk, Leggy, Pierre Chart, Polly Mack and Jeffrey Kirk. Matt for Max von der Geest is classified 3 laps down. Zane, Kevin Zunderberger, Scott Levy, Nicholas, Max Bricker, Ray Wintz and Tico the 20. Alex Loafer, yes. Just you and Alex Loafer. What a battle that was between Owen and Alex back in the day. I say back in the day, it wasn't that long ago. But that is the championship sorted. 1 down, still 1 to go. We head to Saudi Arabia with the constructors on the line. The drivers might not care as much about it as the main championship, but it is still a nice little bit of silverware to take away. Red Bull take the lead for the first time this season. That gap is 2 points. It was 2 points going into it in Williams' favour. We come out of it completely roles reversed. But Logan, just a word on our champion. He's confirmed it tonight. I think for a few weeks it has been a foregone conclusion, despite the haymakers that Silo's been throwing at him. A barrage from Silo over the last few weeks. He's won 5 of the last 6 races, let's not forget.
Yeah, of course. And if he had to pretty much win that race he did not win, that was in the Netherlands. If he won that, then we could have had a title decider, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that. And to be fair, he's won half the races this season, and he's not going to win the championship. I don't think that's ever happened in any form of Formula One. Actually, it might have. I'm sure Lewis Hamilton won more than Nico in 2016.
Yeah, I think he definitely did, but he had those Mercedes engine failures. But yeah, what a run that Silo's been on. 4 on the spin, beaten Snacks in 4 races on the spin, 5 wins out of the 6. Didn't score in the first 3 races, and he didn't compete in the first 3 races either. And ultimately, that's the downfall for Silo this season, but what a run he has been on. And if we do see Silo next week, which I hope we do, although probably unlikely considering what we've heard, hopefully get one final battle between the 2 main protagonists. But that is us finished for the penultimate week of PSGL PSF1. Thank you everybody for joining us. Pleasure as always to bring this series to your screens. Before we go though, make sure you check out Sim Racing Setups. If you want the best in the business, there is absolutely nowhere else that you should head to. Unlock the extra performance with the Pro F125 car setups created and developed by the drivers you see week in, week out here at PSGL. Esports and stable setups for your money, all available for £49.99. In the description is the link to simracingsetup.com, and you've got a delightful discount code of 5% at PSGL. A delightful discount code of PSGL for 5%. Wrong way round. Don't put 5% in, otherwise you'll get no money back. But Logan, you're a bit late, of course, but thank you very much for joining me. As always, pleasure to commandeer this commentary box with yourself. And on an internet, where can people find out what you're up to?
You can find me at the YouTube channel Otaku Logan, Otaku Space Logan. I'm making some videos, and I am going to be streaming a bit of stuff soon, so hopefully you could join for that. But yes, that is pretty much it, I believe. One more week to go, and it's our favourite track.
It is Saudi Arabia. Don't we love it? And you can see one of those clips from Saudi Arabia on said YouTube channel of Logan's. And if you're interested in what I'm doing, Wilco.com's on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you so much for joining us. As I said, enjoy PC, the finale, in a few days' time on Thursday. And myself and Logan will be back with a vengeance for the final round of the season. The Drivers' Championship is decided, but the Constructors still finely balanced, evenly poised between Williams and Red Bull. Who will take it home? Who will take it away from Ferrari, who are the champions in season 41? All will be revealed at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, and probably a bit of carnage to boot as well. We will see you next week. Enjoy the rest of your week, of course. And from myself and Logan, absolute pleasure as always, and we'll see you very soon.